But Nancy Pelosi, very interesting person, powerful person in Congress. There's something about her. When I watch her, there's just something, the moves that she makes, the way she talks, you know. And interestingly enough, her father was alleged to have mob ties. He was a prominent Democratic congressman, I think, back in the 1930s to the 1940s. Then he became mayor of Baltimore from 1947, I think, or from 1939 to 1947, something like that. Anyway, he was an important Democratic person at that time, and he had ties to the mob. And remember, I told you this. All mobsters were Democrats back then. Why? Because they were easier to corrupt. That's the bottom line. Like it, not like it, that's the truth. That's my experience. But interestingly enough, I came across an article. I want to read it for you, and then I'm going to have them post a little YouTube video that I saw as a news clipping about her father, Nancy Pelosi's father. But let me read this for you. It's very interesting. President John F. Kennedy asked the FBI to look into Speaker Pelosi's father for connections to the mob. A document that was quietly released last week confirms this. Now, this was written January 13, 2021. So this document was released on January 6th, and we know what happened on January 6th. On January 6th, the FBI quietly released documents related to Nancy Pelosi's father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., was investigated by the FBI in 1961 per request from President John F. Kennedy. And prior to that, the reason Kennedy asked for that is because in 1947, J. Edgar Hoover started an investigation also on D'Alessandro Jr., Pelosi's father. I think Pelosi, she was, I think, 21 at that time. She grew up with her father. She knew her dad, obviously. She knew his business. He was a Democrat. She became a Democrat. And the allegation was that the mob helped him, number one, supported him during his Congress term, and then helped him become mayor of Maryland, swung the vote in his way. And it was alleged that he took bribes for the mob and so on and so forth. None of this surprises me, Bill. None of this whatsoever surprises me, because we had people in Congress, they were all Democrats that were doing our bidding at that time. So why do I relate this to Nancy Pelosi? I'm not inferring in any way that she has mob connections now. She grew up with her father. She understood. She knew the people that were around him. She got it. Sometimes you pick up the moves and, your father has an impact on you and so on and so forth. And, just look at Nancy's style. She once made a quote. She said, "Anybody that has ever dealt with me knows not to mess with me." That's mob talk. She had another quote about a knife or something. You put the gun down, I take the knife, something like that. Or you put a knife on the table, I'm coming with a gun, something like that. And it's a little bit, okay. Why are you saying things like that? Anyway, maybe she was around her father and heard things like that because of the mob influence.